Let's take a look at this picture. How does technology modified our classroom setting? In this digital era, it is a challenge for us teachers to deliver teaching that is suited to our learners' needs and aligned to the needed 21st century skills. In order to create meaningful learning experiences, Marilee Sprenger discusses how teachers can relate to the changes brought by technology supported by brain-based principles in her book Brain-Based Teaching in the Digital Age. I will be sharing to you the presented teaching strategies in the digital age and how we can help our students to acquire the needed skills to be successful in a changing world. But before that, let's first talk about how technology changes the brain. Our students are considered as digital natives who grew up with technology. Because they are exposed early on, their information acquisition is based on visuals and icons, and their brain's reticular activation system scans faster, which is the very reason why their engagement is brief. Too much technology can also lead to stunted frontal lobe development, which is a part of the brain that's responsible for social interaction. Frontal lobes are the last to develop, so the more hours our students spend in technology, the slower it matures. This may also lead to addiction that will make them neglect school, eating, or family interactions. So, how can we help our students to balance technology and the needed skills in the changing world? Recent brain researches suggest the importance of using high-tech equipment and at the same time employ physical fitness and art activities for our students to develop better brain. Exercise doesn't literally make our students smarter, but it helps them to focus and learn because blood flow and oxygen increase in the brain as circulation improves during exercise. Children who are into arts may also do well academically because their motivation to practice will result to sustained attention that leads to better brain network. There are three major skills that will help our students to become successful in the changing world. First one is the emotional intelligence. To develop this skill, our learners should be able to communicate with real people, not through instant messages, not relying on emoticons to show emotions, but with real physical people. Developing communication skills helps students build relationships. Building relationships means knowing other people's feelings, listening to them, and showing empathy. Our students should learn how to read social cues and how to deal with people since this is a lifelong skill. We can encourage our students to communicate with each other by providing group learning activities where they can work together. In the digital age, this can be in the form of commenting on blogs, interactive whiteboards, brainstorming through video calls, or letting them teach others. Through these activities, our students will learn how to work with different kinds of people, adjust with people's attitudes, show empathy, and develop their emotional intelligence. Next skill is creativity. Our brain craves novelty and innovation. It also needs multifaceted experiences where we can draw our creativity. The ideas of highly creative people are based on background knowledge, so we cannot expect our students to acquire the skill in an instant. Teachers should design different learning activities that may be suited to the learner's learning styles and associated with multiple intelligences. Teaming and group work offer more opportunity for creativity as we introduce them to other people's ideas and insights. Other creative strategies may include mind mapping, improving memory, providing activities suited to learners' learning styles, and using music. Several researches show that music positively affects the brain function. We can use it in different parts of our lesson or classroom management. For example, we can play before and after class. We can play different music while having group work or if we want them to do something. Auditory learners will thank us too. The last skill is the ability to synthesize information. To be able to synthesize, building memory is important because it is when students can connect new information to existing knowledge. Without existing knowledge through memory, students cannot integrate their newly acquired information to previous ones. Our memories come from our experiences. Our experiences gives us background knowledge. If our brain continue to absorb new information, the more background knowledge will be formed. Therefore, it would be easier for us to connect information and make meaning to establish learning. There are different kinds of memory and different ways to strengthen memory systems. Here are some examples. The semantic memory holds what we learn from words and common knowledge, but retention of this information is poor until we've had enough engagements with the material. We can improve our semantic memory through blogging, note-taking, mind maps, or searching online. Other digital strategies that may enhance memory are playing memory games, digital flashcards, creating PowerPoint presentations, and associating music to lessons. By improving memory, new information will better find its way to our brain and connect to our previous knowledge. Through this connection, lessons will make sense and our brain will detect patterns, associate unrelated ideas, and create something new like putting together puzzle pieces. Strategies that will support synthesizing of ideas may include different graphic organizers like mind maps, Venn diagram, T-charts, cause and effect charts, sequence charts, and KWHLU charts. KWHLU chart is the typical KWHL plus U, which stands for the question, what is the use of this information in my daily life? If students were able to associate their learning to their real life situation, the knowledge has a higher chance of staying in their memory. In the digital age, these graphic organizers can be done in digital platforms like Interactive Whiteboard or Google Jamboard. Synthesizing can also be done in groups, and this platform still allows students to brainstorm and connect each other's ideas even if they're in different parts of the world. How we should be teaching our students in the digital age doesn't have only one answer. Our various ways of teaching may succeed, may be in working progress, or even failed. But we must continue to emphasize choice and balance in the demands of 21st century and the needs of the whole child.